Back with Falcon and Winter Soldier. This time with episode 5 out of 6. And oh my god, I've just looked at the length of this episode. It's a long one. 61 minutes? It's over an hour. Just over an hour, bear in mind. But some of that is credits, so that probably cuts out another 5-10 minutes. But still, long. Last week ended on a shocker, really. I know that governments can do pretty stupid things sometimes, and they can sweep a lot of stuff under the rug, but there's got to be consequences to what happened last week, haven't there? There is no way the Walker can just get away with what he did out in the view of everyone. Like, the episode was like the whole world is watching. Everyone had their phones out and was filming him just batter someone into the ground and kill them. Someone who was a fan of Captain America as well. Like, literally, the guy who earlier in the episode said that he looked up to Captain America and he was murdered by his shield. Walker has got to face some punishment for it, hasn't he? I have, like, if sympathy was levelled on 0 to 100, I have, like, 5 to 10% sympathy for him because his best friend just died in that just a few moments before. So his best friend just died. But yeah, that's about as far as it reaches. He had someone on the ground and not incapacity, but he had someone on the ground and they were surrendering to him. They had their hands up, and he just killed him anyway. Carly, on the other hand, I have no sympathy for. Like, we saw just after the guy died that she was looking at him. She was looking shocked at what just happened. Like, I have no sympathy for her. She just killed his best friend, and so she just killed Walker's best friend, and now Walker killed one of her friends. How can she even try to justify that? I mean, granted, he shouldn't be doing that, but even then, she can't go around and say he's a brutal murderer because you just did the same thing. So, I have no sympathy for Carly, but where that's going, I have no clue. The Flag Smasher arc, I have no clue where that's going, because they could have easily wrapped up the Flag Smasher arc last episode. Like, they could have had Carly be the one that Walker killed, and then it would have wrapped up the story arc, because in that episode we learned everything we needed to know about her. She explained her motives, and they tried talking to her and she just didn't back down. She was clear that she wouldn't give up. She threatened Sam's sister, she killed Lamar, Battlestar, and then she could have easily just been killed there, and then we would have moved on to Walker as the main villain in the final 2 episodes. But no, they could have wrapped up the Flag Smasher arc, but they didn't. So I'm wondering where she goes from now on. Also wondering where Zemo and the Wakandans are gonna fit into it anymore. I wonder if the Wakandans, I can imagine that's the last we've seen of them. Like the Dora Milaje, I can imagine that's the last we've seen of them. But Zemo could still possibly pop up again, although I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see him at all and we just left him for a future project. Like, that's a villain who can just walk around in the universe now that we don't know where he is. Also, I imagine Sam and Bucky are going to have a lot to say to Walker about what just happened, with him desecrating the shield like that with all the blood all over it. Maybe, like, people should know by now, but the public should know to judge Walker for what happened, but knowing people, the legacy of Captain America has been tainted in their eyes because of what Walker did, even though it wasn't Steve who did it. But if people start saying that Captain America is bad and just generalising it as the Captain America mantle rather than Walker himself, then it just shows how unreasonable people can be. Which we've shown racism happen in this show before, so I'm not... this show could do anything. Been going for 5.5 minutes now. Let's get into the episode. So, let's just get into Season 1. Don't know if there's going to be Season 2, but Season 1, Episode 5 of Falcon and Winter Soldier, starting now. Yeah. You having regrets, Walker? Bit too late now. Yeah, there's clearly a mental aspect there.
You saw what happened. You know what I had to do. I killed him because I had to. He killed Lamar!
You didn't kill Lamar, John.
You don't want to do this.
Yeah, we do.
Bucky wants it. He was about to kill Bucky as well. Oh, look at that action scene. I wanna write my note down, but I can't tear my eyes away. Oh. Yeah, Bucky's got the shield now.
Why are you making me do this? Why are you making me do this?
Yeah, no one's making you do shit.
I am Captain America.
No! He's insane! He's gone insane. This could have been the final fight of the series, but we're getting it now. Oh, look at that.
Thanks, Torres.
He's taking it.
Wait, yo, you forgot the wings.
Keep them.
It is the order of this council that you are no longer to act in any capacity as a representative of the United States government or its military. You were hereby stripped of your title and authority as Captain America, effective immediately.
Also,
You will be given an other than honorable discharge, retroactive to the beginning of the month. You will hold no rank in retirement and receive no benefits.
They just do not know what it takes to be Captain America. They just don't.
neither do you.
Just call me Val, but don't call me Val. Just keep it in your head.
Who the hell is Val?
Look, I would have killed the bastard too.
Is she the power broker? She had a purple streak, so she means something. You don't have an odd hair choice like that and not mean something. Oh, okay. Zemo. Sokovia, the memorial. Really? We're gonna do this? He could have done it. The Dora Milaje.
Ladies, I took the liberty of crossing off my name in your book. I hold no grudges for what you thought you had to do. Goodbye, James.
Is that what I think it is? Leave it covered. Those stars and stripes don't mean nothing good to me. I bust out of the facility one night, and I brought them boys back.
Just like
Not
Steve
that it
did.
made a damn bit of difference. And what did I get for saving their lives? You think things are different? You think times are different? You think I wouldn't be dead in a day if you brought me out? They were worried my story might get out. They erased me. My history.
Yep.
After
Brass
500
doesn't want.
years, They will never let a black man be Captain America. They did. No self-respecting black man
It's such
would ever want to be.
a disrespect. Oh, that makes me angry.
Yeah, how many people still owe mom and dad something?
All of them. All that's left for sure.
Start calling in the
It might be
debts.
time to call in a few of those favors.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Sam Wilson. Yeah, Paul, youngest boy from up the street. Hey, Miss Patty. You remember my mom and dad?
Hey, Mr. Falcon, what's happening with you?
I'm back in town for it. That's why I'm calling.
Tommy, Carlos, man, this is amazing.
Thanks so much, man.
People coming together.
Goes out to Wilson's family needs help.
Bucket.
You're welcome. I'm back here.
Oh.
So,
No, bro. Stay away from that.
Don't flirt with my sister. Because if you do, I'll have Carlos cut you up and feed you to the fish. Okay.
Oh, please, if it weren't for me, you'd still be rotting away in that Algerian prison. Finished?
Algerian. Is she talking to Batroc? Ooh, look at him go.
It's weird. Picking it up again. It's just that shield's closest thing I've got left to a family. So when you retired it made me feel like I had nothing left. You gotta stop looking to other people to tell you who you are.
Look at him.
You were stopping all the wrongdoers you enabled as a winter soldier. Because you thought it would bring you closure. I'm sure there's at least one person in that book who needs closure about something, and you're the only person who can give it to him.
Yeah.
Probably a dozen. That's cool. Start with one.
I liked that. That was very good.
stop. Don't. You can't say it. I know the speech. It's not smart, but I just can't.
Sarah, I'm so happy to hear you say that.
Take that shield, man. Just. Go on, boy. Boom! Go! Is that actually him doing that? Oh.
Sam screwed him out of a small fortune not long ago. He's been dying to get payback ever since.
Backdrop. In New York.
In New York, where the GRC is voting on the controversial Patch Act, which would move upwards of 20 million refugees back home to their countries of origin.
I'll take it from here.
Cap's on the way.
The right people
Captain
will
Falcon
go
is on the
along
way.
with this.
We still do not have sufficient resources in the resettlement camps.
What's sufficient? They can't stay where they are forever.
Here we go. What's in that case? Not going to show us. No, they're not going to show us until the last episode. There's a credit scene, I know that. What are you doing? What are you doing, Walker? He's making his own shield. And he's putting his Medal of Honor on it. Wow. This was really a slower paced episode, a much slower paced episode. Like, if I didn't know there was a last episode, I could have sworn this was the finale, or something, until that ending, of course. All the trouble's past, now it's time to settle back down, but now everything's ramping back up again for a final big battle. In the beginning was Walker running away from his problems, after he's just killed that guy, and the face-off with Sam and Bucky. The action was awesome. So good. So good. I just love the way Sam can maneuver so fluidly, like with those wings. Yeah, they had to double team to take him on. And they broke his arm to take it off. I love that. I love that moment when Sam was trying to grab the shield and fly away, and Walker was literally stood sideways, holding it back. I don't know. I just liked that for some reason. Took the shield back. There was a little moment though from Bucky when he had the shield on his arm, and he was looking down at Sam before giving it to him and then walking away. That hinted that, yeah, like naturally there's always going to be that who should have got the shield, Sam or Bucky. I know people who feel both ways about it. I think this episode highlighted why it should be Sam. So yeah, naturally there's always going to be that. Everyone's expecting the Sam versus Bucky fight for the shield. Glad to see that's not the case. It looks like they resolved everything this episode with that. Like that just discussion, like why it should be Sam. And obviously we're gearing up for a new suit as well. I mean, after that fight with Walker, Torres asked Sam, like, he's like, hey, you left your wings here, and Sam's like, keep them, keep the wings. So he's obviously not going to be dropping the... I hope he's not dropping the whole Falcon thing permanently. Like, he can have both. He can have the shield and the wings. Like, I hope he just doesn't turn into another guy in a suit. It doesn't matter how hard you train. At least he's putting in the work. But yeah, I hope he does more than that. I hope he can have both. He can have the athleticism. He can have the shield, and he can have the wings. So Captain Falcon, I proclaim. Yeah, I mean it's already taken, but why not? It's what everyone's thinking. With that fight, there was Sam taking the shield, Bucky giving Sam the shield, but there was also Walker who got a dishonourable discharge. It kind of sucks because you know he has good intentions. He doesn't make the best decisions, even though that was supposed to be one of his. That's supposed to be one of his best attributes, that he can make those decisions like that in the heat of battle. But you know that everything he does, he does it because he's got good intentions. He wants to serve his country. He wants to live up to, like I said last time. Walker has something on his shoulders that Steve didn't. Steve didn't have to bother. Steve didn't have to worry about living up to someone else's legacy, which is what Walker's obviously suffering with. He has to live up to what Steve did, whereas Steve didn't have that trouble, and obviously the pressure broke him. And I've seen the picture all over. Walker may be the perfect soldier, but Steve was a good man, and that's what the Doctor in the first Captain America was looking for. Like Lamar said last episode, power just makes someone more of who they are, and Walker is a soldier, and naturally soldiers are trained to kill. Not to mention, soldiers also come back with PTSD and stuff like that, and a bit of an aggressive attitude sometimes. Whereas Steve got the serum and he got that power before he had to learn any of that aggression or learning how to kill anyone. Because back then he was just an innocent little guy who he didn't want power, but he understood the value of that power, and so it made him Captain America. Whereas Walker's a different case. But yeah, like you said, everything he does for his country. He did everything they asked, and despite all the good things he may have done before becoming Captain America, they just throw him away. So a bit of sympathy goes out to him for that, because he busts his ass for his country, and then one mistake like that, it's a bad mistake to be fair, but one mistake and just like that everything he's accomplished is gone. And then him and his wife were approached by Val. I couldn't bother. What's the point of remembering all of her name? Because she said just refer to me as Val, but don't. But I'm going to refer to her as Val because she can't get me through the computer screen. But yeah, she's got a purple streak in her hair, so you know she's important. Whenever someone has a weird hairstyle, a dodgy hairstyle, or let's say a more unique hairstyle, you know she's going to mean something. Like, when you're looking at the Flag Smashers, they've all got the masks on, they all look the same, but you know who Carly is because of her ginger hair. Val came to him talking like how it was a good idea for him to take the serum, and sort of encouraging his worst decisions. Like, it was wrong for him to kill that guy. She's encouraging it. It was bad of him to take that serum, but she encouraged it. So she's obviously not going to be a positive force where he's concerned. I thought she might be the power broker, but I'm leaning away from that towards something else now. Someone else could be the power broker. Who is she? Obviously, one episode left. We've got to get all the answers in the last episode. Then we had the Sokovia Memorial. It looks like Zemo was waiting for Bucky to show up and he was like ready to die because Bucky came at him with the gun. The empty gun, but it might not have been because he had all the bullets in his other hand. But yeah, he knew that, like, he's done what he needs to do. He destroyed most of the... He thinks he destroyed all of the serum. So, as far as he was concerned, his mission was done. He just wanted to spend time at the memorial, and he was ready to die. But Bucky's not a killer anymore. He's not the Winter Soldier anymore. And so he handed him off to the Dora Milaje. The Dora Milaje are going to take him back to Wakanda where he can serve in his prison. I wonder if he's going to be in Black Panther 2. That would be interesting. I understand why they didn't do it, but I would have liked a little reference to T'Challa, to Black Panther. Sort of like Bucky saying, like, give T'Challa my best wishes and stuff, like something like that. I would have liked that little moment, but I understand why they didn't. So yeah, I think that's the end of the Wakanda stuff, and that's the end of Zemo as well. Like, it was a good way for him to go out, to go to the prison in a country where he murdered their king. So yeah, it makes sense that that storyline is now over. On the other hand, we then went to Sam going to Isaiah, which that was a hard scene to watch. It's a bit of truth that shouldn't be a truth. It shouldn't be a thing. But talking about how the top brass, there's still racism around, and it's a sickening truth. I fucking hate it so much. But yeah, naturally the brass are not going to. They're not going to want a black Captain America. They're not going to give Sam or Isaiah that honour. I mean, look what they did with Isaiah in the first place. Like, they gave him all the powers of Captain America. And then, even when he was doing good things for their country, they just turned on him. And just... yeah, used him as an experiment. It sucks. It's a sucky truth. Like, even today, you still see that evidence of racism everywhere. Like, I'm looking at my YouTube recommended list now, and there's a racism one. There's a racism one right there. Cops called to apartment for burglary in progress, and it turns out it's just the tenant who's black is just moving. So yeah, that's just there in my recommended already. So it's everywhere. They'll never allow a black man to be Captain America. But Sam is going to do it whether the brass likes it or not. This all started because he gave that shield away, and they were saying it was the right decision of you to do, just so they could hand it off to a white guy. And then I wonder if they intentionally put Lamar, not just because he was Walker's friend, but if they intentionally put Lamar as his number 2 to show, like, white man's number 1, black man's number 2. I wonder if that was a... I mean, obviously they've not said that and something, but I wonder if that was a little hint that we're supposed to pick up on or not. Shitty thing to listen to, but ultimately it is true, even though it shouldn't be. Then we went to a more uplifting stage after that, when Sam went back home to the family about fixing up their lives, fixing up their business, and then just calling around to the people of the town who apparently their parents were the ones who were always helping the people of the town, and the town has a lot of respect for the Wilson family, and so they just brought people in to help. I know our neighbours wouldn't do anything like that for us, but yeah, bottom line is we have sucky neighbours, so everyone around the town is helping, even including one person who wasn't from the town. Bucky came to help. Yeah, just a little montage of them trying to fix the boat, or them fixing the boat, really. I don't know. Did they fix the boat? We still don't know. But yeah, just them working together to try and fix this broken boat. Is there a... I mean, it would make sense if it never went anywhere. But are they hinting at the romance between Bucky and Sarah? Is that a thing? I mean, they were hinting at the beginning of the series of Bucky starting a relationship with that bartender girl, or that waitress in the beginning, and then he just ducked on her. He just ghosted her. I don't know, is that something we're following through with now? With Sam's sister? And then we went to the training with the shield. I think Sam's accepted now that Steve gave him that shield. Steve trusted him with that shield. And Sam's also got his own mate. Like, Sam respects that, but it's not his driving force right now. I will be Captain America because the world needs a black Captain America. He needs to stand up for not just what Steve thought, not just for the shield, but in his mind, for his people, for the black community. Yeah, and also the little talk with Bucky. Like, Bucky helped him out with the physical in fixing the boat, but Sam's giving him the cap talk. He really sounded like Captain America there. He sounded like his own Captain America. And that's where you really see it. We saw it last episode when he was trying to negotiate with Carly. And now we see it here when he's telling Bucky what to do and giving him the pep talk. There's got to be at least one person in that book who needs closure. We've seen that one person, and it's going to really hurt if we have to watch that when that happens. But yeah, I think Sam and Bucky are finally properly on the same page. They're not just people. They're not just two guys who are forced to work with each other and they're constantly bickering now. We're reaching the next level of their relationship. We're getting to the team level, but not just yet. Quick flash to Sharon, who I think is the power broker. I think Sharon is the power broker. Because when we were in Madripoor, in episode 3, I believe, when we were in Madripoor, Zemo said that there's people in Madripoor Hightown that they don't consider friends, and then talking about the power broker lives in Hightown and stuff. And then when Sharon saved them, she said she had a place in Hightown. And yeah, it looks like she has a lot of influence and a lot of resources. So I think Sharon is the power broker. I don't want to see her as a villain at all, because it would suck if Peggy Carter's niece turned out to be a villain. Yeah, she said I did you a favour by getting you out of that Algerian prison. We know one Algerian when connected to the Captain America franchise, and that is Batroc. George Batroc, who we saw in the first episode at the opening. And now he's back again with Carly and the Flag Smashers now. I keep noticing that her fellow Flag Smashers, especially the Australian guy, he's got an Australian accent. I don't know if he's from Australia or New Zealand, but yeah, I noticed that he's not as on board with it as Carly is. Even he said, "Are we teaming with criminals now?" Which Batroc is. And Carly's compromising pretty much everything about their cause just to get her cause done. Like, they're making very questionable decisions to get the job done. So, by teaming up with Batroc, and it looks like they're hitting the GRC, I think it's called. But the vote to move all people who were displaced during the blip. I hate calling it the blip, but refugees, moving them back to their own countries, and clearly the one from America, the old man who was the guy who announced Captain America in the first place, Walker as the new Captain America, he doesn't care, he just wants them out of the country, and he's like, because the other representatives are like saying like we don't have the resources sufficient. We don't have the sufficient resources at the camps where they're going to be moved back to, and he doesn't care. So he doesn't give a fuck about these refugees. He just wants them gone. Yeah, looks like the siege is underway. Flag Smashers hit the GRC voting. Bucky has given Sam, I assume, a new costume, which we didn't see. And Walker is also going to get himself involved by making his own shield. It's not vibranium, you're not going to last long, bro. You may be a super soldier, but your shield is not going to last. It's not vibranium. Like, you go toe to toe with the actual shield, that is going to break into a million pieces. Yeah, an insane episode, and I can't believe we are going right into the final episode next week. This show has gone so fast, a lot faster than WandaVision, but then again, it's 3 episodes shorter, so yeah, I love this show. I'll talk about how much I love this show next week when it finishes. And I'm also excited, but also sad about saying that. But anyway, that's all we've got left for this week of My Hero Academia. Until next time, we are over and out. Bye!